Hi. So a few people have been asking me how I've been making my masks. I've just been using the hospital patterns, and they're super easy. If you know how to use the sewing machine, you can totally make these. Um, so I just made myself a template, and I've been making friends and my family in case of emergency if we had to go someplace. I made my kids some too. So this is 9 by 6, and the kids one is 7.5 by 5. And I just, to make it really quick, I just got a piece of chalk and traced them on my fabric and cut a ton at once. So now I have a stack here of pieces of fabric. So I'll make an adult one because that's what I'm working on right now. And I'm going to use some edging that I found in a bunch of my grandmother's old fabrics and stuff. So just line up outside, right sides together, and then you're just going to sew around the edge. And once you get to a corner, you take, if you're doing it with elastic, it is 7-inch for adults and 6-inch for kids. And this that I'm using is, I think it said 15, so I went a little bigger, 16-inch for ties. I'm basically out of elastic. So you just put it diagonal in your corner. So I'm putting it like this, but inside my two fabrics. Just reinforce the corner. And turn your fabric. And I am by no means a seamstress. I can kind of make whatever I want, but I'm not excellent at it by any means. I think it's in my blood because my grandmother and her sisters were seamstresses, and they were really good. So I kind of think it's in my blood, although I'm not, you know, I never learned to do it perfectly. So you just sew your 4 corners in. So it's going to take me a minute to get around. And reinforce the corner. And if you're using some kind of string for a tie, just keep moving it around. And I know there are people putting wires in the noses of them. When I talked to our local hospital, they said they don't care about having those in, and actually the woman on the phone was worried that those could, you know, get all messed up when they are washed. So, and I just decided not to put them anyway because I feel like they take more time to put that in. And the research on the cloth mask is they only work so well anyway. So I feel like that little bit of extra fit to me was not worth like how much it would actually make a difference in the usage of the mask. And then you leave. So I went all the way around, got all my 4 corners in, and if you're using elastics, you just put the ends in on the corners. So you sew them the exact same way though. And then flip them, and the ties and the elastics make it really quick to flip these inside out. Flip it inside out, and I've seen a bunch of different ways that people have done pleats. You want 3 pleats going the same direction. So what I've been doing, I know people were using paper clips, and you can do it as you go. I was pinning it, and then I was like, oh, maybe the paper clips are quicker to fold as I go, but every time I do it, fold as you go. I don't know, they never turn out as nice, and I feel like it's not that much quicker for me. So it's just what I was using pins and then just putting them in far enough. I use my legs. I kind of put it between my legs when I do the folds, so excuse me for a minute. I hold it with one leg, and I fold all the way across. It just comes out neater for me and even, and I just like the way they turn out better. I'll show you in a minute. And so then I started using, I had the paper clips out because I was trying that trick to see how that worked for me. And then I decided actually using the paper clips to hold it is quicker than the pins for taking them out as I go. And I don't know if it's actually true, but I thought maybe it was. So I'm using the paper clips to hold it. So instead of pinning it, so I just go all the way across with the pleats and then just put it on your edge. I try to start where my opening is, but I actually don't think it really matters. And depending on how much fabric I had folded in, I sew it pretty close to the edge. I'm not worried about these coming out perfect looking. To me, that doesn't matter. It might to you, in which case you might want to take more time with it, but I'm just trying to get the hospital as many as I can and not worry about how neat they are. Oh, I stuck these on too much. I haven't made one for, I put it. So the paper clips only need to go on the edge, but when I was talking, for whatever reason, I put them all the way on, which makes them get stuck. So now I've got no paper clip on. All right, we'll just do it as I go. And I think I put all of them on way too much. So fold that one across. Go to that corner, turn, go all the way across. This side I put them on better. If you don't put the paper clip on all the way, they come off really easily and quickly. Then you just go around second time. And try to keep the stitches on top of each other, but honestly, I don't really think it matters. These don't need to be perfectly made. I go backwards for a quick second, which I don't know if I need to, because I went around twice. And then just cut your strings. I just toss everything on the ground and clean up later. Let's see. And then that's it. So it's pretty simple. And then it just ties on and it opens up. So they're super simple. So if you have a sewing machine and you know how to use it and you've got some fabric and some kind of ties, it would be awesome if you would send them to your local hospital. I'm sure they'd really appreciate it. Our hospital is using them for nurses in the hospital that may have been exposed just because they're in the hospital, but are seeing other patients, not the COVID patients. So there you go. Thanks.